If you're a landowner and a wind project is being considered for your land, one question always comes up time and again. What does wind turbine installation look like, and how disruptive is it going to be? From the outside, it can feel like a huge industrial operation that takes over your land for months or even years. In reality, once construction is ready to start, the on-site build is often quicker and more structured than most people expect. In this video, I'll talk you through what turbines are made of, how they're installed step by step, how long the overall journey takes, and what the real impact tends to be for landowners. Most modern wind turbines are built primarily from steel and fiberglass, with other materials used throughout the moving parts and the electrical systems. You'll also see components made from resin or plastics, cast iron, copper, and aluminium. The key components you'll hear mentioned here are the tower, the nacelle, and the rotor and blades. Inside the nacelle, you'll find the generator, the shafts, the controller, and usually a gearbox. In simple terms, the blades capture wind energy, the nacelle turns that motion into electricity, and the tower and the foundations keeps everything stable and high enough to catch stronger winds. Installation doesn't begin with cranes arriving overnight. Before anything is built, a developer typically completes feasibility work and secures planning permission. It develops a grid strategy and obtains financing. They also need to procure materials such as concrete, steel, and cabling. Tower sections, nacelles, blades, and hard-standing areas are required for heavy equipment also. This preparation stage can take some time. The on-site build is usually the most visible part, but it's not the first step in the process. Before foundations are poured, you'll normally see site preparation, access tracks, and road upgrades so that heavy vehicles can safely get in and out. A single turbine foundation can require a large volume of concrete, often around 600 to 1,000 tons, depending on the turbine size and ground conditions. That means a period where trucks are coming and going because materials need to be delivered on schedule. This is usually the busiest stage for landowners because traffic and access can overlap with farming operations. But when it's managed well, work stays concentrated to a defined area and the land impact is minimized. If you're worried about access, timing, or disruption, ask your developer for a clear timetable for this phase. Once the foundation is set, the tower goes up. Because turbines are tall, towers are assembled in sections using large cranes, and each segment is stacked into place. Commercial tower heights commonly sit somewhere between 80 and 130 meters, but the range depends on the model and the site design. The build can move quickly when the weather cooperates, but wind and lifting safety rules can cause delays. Once the tower is secure, the team prepares to lift the nacelle into position. The nacelle is the protective shell at the top of the tower. Inside it, you'll find the generator, the gearbox, along with the drivetrain and the shafts. From a landowner's point of view, this stage is a carefully controlled heavy lift carried out by specialist crews during safe weather windows. Once the nacelle is seated, you are very close to the finished turbine. Next comes the blades. On larger turbines, blades arrive separately and are lifted into place with cranes. Each blade can be tens of meters long and weigh several tons. Once the blades are attached to the hub and the rotor assembly, the turbine finally looks completed and the site shifts from heavy building to quality checking. A turbine isn't live the moment the blades go on. The team tests and commissions the system to check that the components are working properly, that the turbines can generate power safely, and everything meets operational standards. Maintenance plans are also finalized at this point. Over the life of the site, crews will visit periodically for inspections, lubrication, cleaning, and sometimes software updates. At a high level, turbines work like an enormous fan in reverse. Wind turns the blades, and the rotor transfers that motion through the drivetrain. The generator converts that kinetic energy into electricity. That power is then exported to the grid, where it's sold and distributed to customers. As you'd expect, more wind generally means more electricity up to the turbine's operating limits. It helps to separate on-site construction time from the total project timeline. On-site, once everything is ready and components are delivered, towers, nacelles, and blades can sometimes be installed in days, depending on weather and logistics. But the full timeline from planning application to an operational project can take much longer. A commonly referenced figure is around 3 years and 8 months, from planning, submission to a live site, give or take. Recent policy changes were introduced in July 2024 to make onshore wind projects much easier to progress, but real-world timeframes still vary by location. For most landowners, the biggest disruption is the access roads and heavy vehicle movements. Cranes, deliveries, and site activities can feel intense, but it's usually concentrated into short windows. Once turbines are installed, land impact is often smaller than people imagine, and farming can typically continue around the equipment. The key is communication. Ask for a construction plan and understand when the busiest weeks will be. Confirm how access will work and keep a direct line to the site contact so issues can be handled quickly. From a landowner's perspective, turbine installation is more structured and often faster on-site than it looks from the outside. The long part is usually the waiting, planning, permissions, procurement, and grid works. But once construction begins, things tend to move in clear stages: foundations, tower, nacelle, blades, and then commissioning. If you've signed an option agreement or you're considering one, talk through the timeline and site plan with your developer. If you want help assessing your land or understanding your options, check the link in the description below to download our ultimate guide to setting up a wind farm. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.